Snow Wishes by Sara Marshall. Ella and her little brother Drew loved snow days. When school was canceled, their mother would take them to their grandparents' house, where they baked cookies and pies, built blanket forts, then read their way through mountains of books with flashlights, worked puzzles with Grandpop, and made crafts with whatever supplies Grandma had on hand. By December, when the children had not seen a single snowflake, they wished and hoped for snow every day. Ella sat with her dad while he watched the evening news, waiting patiently for the weatherman to appear with sunshine, wind, umbrellas, or snowflakes dancing around him on the screen. Drew pressed his nose against the window to watch for falling snowflakes, then slowly traced his hand into the fog his warm breath made on the cold glass. One night, when their grandparents were over for dinner, Ella sat quietly, pushing peas across her plate. They sort of looked like ice crystals as they scooted them just right. "What's wrong with my sweet Ella bean?" Grandpop asked. Ella looked up sadly and said, "I don't think it's going to snow a single flake this year." Grandpop patted her on the head and thought for a moment. Then he asked, "Well, have you tried sleeping with your pajamas inside out?" Ella and Drew both giggled at the idea. They looked at Grandpop, then each other. "We'll try it tonight," Ella clapped. At bedtime, Ella and Drew slipped eagerly into their pajamas. Both wore them inside out in hopes that it would bring snow. The next morning, Ella sprung out of bed and threw open the curtains to peer out the window. A single snowflake stuck to the glass. The children danced around excitedly, singing "Snow Day, Snow Day." "Kids," Mom said, "there isn't enough snow to cancel school. There's only a chance of flurries, so you'll have to go to school today." Ella and Drew were disappointed, but they knew that their pajama trick had brought the snowflakes, even if they were tiny. At school, Ella raised her hand and said, "My grandpa told us if we wore our pajamas inside out, it would snow. Our trick really worked." Her teacher laughed and said, "When I was a child, we would put spoons under our pillows to make it snow. It worked every time," with a wink. Ella couldn't wait to tell Drew. That night, the children decided it would be best to wear their pajamas inside out and place spoons under their pillows to double their chances of snow. The next morning, a light dusting of snow covered the ground. The two children danced around and sang, "Snow Day, Snow Day." "Kids," their mother said, "there isn't enough snow to cancel school." Still, Ella and Drew believed that with each trick they tried, they would soon have their snow day. When Ella visited the school library, she asked the librarian if he had any books about how to make it snow. "We don't carry books about how to make it snow, but we have a few books about what causes snow," said our librarian, Mr. Crane. Ella said, "That's okay, thanks anyway," and started to walk away. Mr. Crane chuckled and said, "When I was a kid and we wished for a snow day, we flushed ice cubes down the toilet, one for each inch of snow we wanted." Ella's face brightened. She couldn't wait to tell her brother. The brother and sister decided that it would take at least 6 inches of snow to cancel school, so they would each flush 3 cubes down the toilet. "Do we flush after each cube or all at once?" Drew asked while trying to keep the slippery cubes from falling out of his hands. "I'm not sure," Ella replied. "Mr. Crane didn't say. We should probably flush one at a time," she said. The children were flushing ice cubes when Mom walked in. "What are you two doing?" she asked. "My librarian said you can flush ice cubes down the toilet to make it snow," Ella said. Her mother chuckled. "You two are really wishing for a snow day, aren't you? Brush your teeth and go to bed." Ella and Drew wore their pajamas inside out, put spoons under their pillows, and flushed 2 more ice cubes down the toilet for good measure before they went to bed. In the morning, Ella sprung out of bed to look out the window. She couldn't believe what she saw. There was not a single snowflake. Ella was so frustrated she almost cried. It was no use, Ella and Drew decided. They might never get a snow day again as long as they lived. That evening at bedtime, Ella's mother asked, "Why aren't your pajamas inside out? And I don't feel a spoon under your pillow. Are you giving up on snow?" Ella nodded her head sadly. None of our tricks worked. Her mother thought for a moment. "I can't believe I'm saying this, but a friend told me that they used to eat ice cream for dinner to make it snow." Ella sat up and said, "Could we, Mom? Could we please try it?" Her mother laughed and said, "We can try it tomorrow night, as long as you eat your broccoli." The next night, Ella and Drew ate chocolate chip ice cream for dinner, along with a giant mound of broccoli. They wore their pajamas inside out, put spoons under their pillows, and flushed 10 ice cubes down the toilet. "If this doesn't work, I don't know what will," Ella told her father. He said, "It doesn't hurt to hope for something." The next morning, Ella woke up much later than usual. She panicked when she realized her alarm clock hadn't gone off. "I'm going to be late for school," she called out as she threw off the covers. Mom came into the room and said, "Oh, I turned your alarm off. There's no school today." "What? No school?" Ella asked. "Is it Saturday already? Look outside." Her mom nodded toward the window. Ella jumped out of bed and raced over to peer it out. Snow! The cars and sidewalks and streets were covered in thick, beautiful white blankets of snow. "You have to stay with your grandparents today. Go brush your teeth and start getting ready," Mom said. After dancing and singing their Snow Day song, Ella and Drew went to Grandma's house to spend the day playing, reading, crafting, and baking. There was so much snow, in fact, that they canceled school for the rest of the week. Every time Ella and Drew hoped for snow thereafter, they would try a new trick they had learned from someone. Sometimes it didn't work, but sometimes it did.